Hey guys, how's it going? This is Khan, Mr. So Real, and welcome to this week's Good or Garbage, the #1 place where you can find out what weapons, blueprints, mods, attachments, and all that stuff is being sold in the division that is worth your time and your money. So last week there was a bit of a hiccup with YouTube. I don't really know what happened. Some things didn't really work out, and apparently I guess some of you guys didn't get the video. There was a serious dip in the amount of views and likes and all that stuff. So hopefully everything will go as smoothly as it has gone in the past and better than last week. So if we can get up to let's say over 2,000 views or something, and maybe a couple hundred likes, then that would really help me out a lot, and it would be very, very appreciated. Yeah, this week's stuff, I have to honestly tell you that there are no God roll weapons or anything like that being sold, but there is an amazing firearms mod with some ridiculous firearms and skill haste, so you'll definitely want to go and check that out. Starting off this week, we have that the special blueprints vendor, the converted USC blueprint. We have the firearms backpack blueprint. We have the electronics backpack blueprint. There's a flash hider that gives you extra accuracy for sale. And that is all that I can tell you. If you guys see anything else that is being sold at the special blueprints vendor, be sure to leave a comment in the comment section. Let people know. I've already bought some stuff, so they changed the system in 1.7. There's some things that I can see and some things that I can't. So if I bought the blueprint already, there's no way for me to see it. So apologies about that, but that is what we have. So if you see something else that's not in here, leave a comment, let everyone know. Alright, and moving over to the special equipment vendor, we have the Cassidy shotgun with Determined, Ferocious, and Boomstick, the Centurion with Expert Commanding, the Pacan with Adept, Swift, and Pacan. The base damage on this is a little bit low. The target damage to enemies out of cover at 14% is nice, but I would say wait if you don't need this per se. Swift is not the best, but that is pretty much the only talent. The only thing that I really have a problem with is the base damage for this one. The Historian, the headshot damage is nice, the base damage is kind of but the talents are pretty poo-poo. The Liberator, again, the base damage is not that great. Enemy armor damage is also not that great at 19, and the talents kind of suck. Now the rest of the weapons, I'm not a huge fan of any of these. The G36, the talents just don't really work for me. Yeah, so that's why I would pass on that, and the base damage could be a bit better. The rest of the weapons, they just aren't that good, to be quite frank. Now getting on to the mask, the only mask that I could look at and say would be good for maybe a PvE build would be this Tenacious Mask. Increased damage by 10% for 10 seconds after using a med kit, plus you get 8% enemy armor damage and 12% damage to elites. The main problem with this is that #1, the armor is a little bit low. I'd like to see it somewhere in the 900s, preferably over 950, and then the stam is at 1244 and it's stam, so that's kind of a bad point. If you've seen stuff better than this, then you definitely should try it out, but if not, then keep it moving. I'm really not a fan right now because of classified gear sets of recommending Lone Star and DeadEye, just because the base on all of the classified stuff is so much better than these. I would say if you can get classified stuff, definitely do it. I think kind of from now on, I don't really think recommending these is going to be in the best interest of everyone, because there's much better out there. Now moving on to the stuff that they do have for sale, I would definitely highly recommend this Reclaimer vest, just because the amount of health and the amount of armor on it is pretty amazing. Looking at the armor, it's at 1955, which is pretty good. It goes, usually the armor goes over 2,000, but this is still not that bad. And then the health is really good. It's 16,286. All resist is kind of not a real huge fan of that, and then the fact that its stam is not that great. But that armor and that health could keep you alive, and if you're doing your job as a reclaimer to keep the rest of the team alive, it's not that bad. That's pretty good. Now moving on to the other stuff that is being sold, the bags. Definitely you want to take a look at the Alpha Bridge bag. This is a really good bag. The armor on it is amazing at 1330. The health on it is also very good at 13,000. 37. The max that you can get on a bag in terms of health is 13,339. So you're only like, 302 points off from the max health. Plus it comes with burn resist, which is not too bad. Then you have the Banshee bag, which is also pretty good. The armor on it is not as good as the Alpha Bridge bag. And then the health is not as good, but it's still pretty good. It's not that bad. If you're in need of a Banshee bag, this is a decent one to pick up. Now the knees, don't really recommend any of those. The holsters, not a big fan of either of those. But I will say these Savage gloves really did hit a nerve with me. The only problem I have with these is that it's the armor on it is a little bit low. Same thing with that mask. The armor on it is a little bit low and it's stam, but if you look at it, you have Savage, you also have 7% enemy armor damage, you have 16% critical hit damage, which is only 1 point off from the max, and then the assault rifle damage. That assault rifle damage is straight sick. 1321. The max that you can get for an assault rifle is 1334. So you're really not that far off from the max. Plus you get 7% crit hit chance as long as they're out of cover. So you get some crit hit chance, you get really good crit hit damage, then you get enemy armor damage. This is great for PvE stuff, and it could even work out for PvP, although the armor, I would like it a little bit higher, but it's still not that bad. Now moving on to the rest of the stuff, the striker gloves, they're kind of iffy. That assault rifle damage is not that great. The armor is not that great. Skill haste is nice, but I kind of can't recommend it. The Predator's Mark gloves, I wish the SMG damage was a little bit higher and it wasn't pistol damage. Fire crest, no, I can't really go for it. I do like the armor on it, but the rest of the stuff I don't really like. The marksman rifle damage is not that bad, but still. And then moving on, the rest of this stuff is kind of not that great. If you are looking for sticky bomb damage, you can pick it up. 3.5, I believe the max you can get is 4, but 3.5 is all that they're selling. And the rest of the attachments just, yeah, kind of pass. So let's see what else they got in the base of operations. Now moving on to the advanced weaponry vendor, big surprise, most of this is crap. The 93R does have competent on it, so if you have been looking for a 93R and you want a competent, then there you go. But other than that, I really can't recommend most of this stuff. I'll scale through it really quickly, but I'm pretty sure most of you guys can see that these are not great weapons at all. I really wanted the SRS A1 to be good, but it just isn't. And even the attachments are not that great either. They could be a lot better, but they just aren't. So let's keep it moving. Alright, over in Dante's Run we have a very rare item being sold, and I kind of recommend picking it up if you don't have any. There's a purple electronics gear mod with 3% damage to elites and 202 electronics. Now of course I always wish that there was these were over 200 in firearms, but if you are running an electronics build or maybe a support class, this could help you out. Still 3% damage to elites. Stacking these up do add up quite quickly and can really help out your build. So if you've been looking for any purple mods with some damage to elites, here you go this week. They are electronics, so they're a lot better than Stam that was last week, so go ahead and pick them up. Over in the crypt, there is an MP7 being sold. Personally, I don't think this MP7 is all that great, but I know people go crazy over them, and if I don't report them, unless they're extremely bad, people just send me messages saying, why didn't you say anything about the MP7? Come on, dog, you slipping. So anyway, I personally think this thing is trash, but that's just me. The crit hit chance is it's alright, it's not that bad. The base damage on it could be a bit better. It's in like the 60 some odd percentile. Let me 64 percentile in damage. Comes with talented, ferocious, and destructive. Talented I don't think most PvP players use. This would only really be for PvE if you had ferocious unlocked, and then you'd probably want to do something with talented. But other than that, I really can't recommend this, but I'm just throwing it out there because people send me messages saying stuff like that. Alright, over in the ward, we have a mod being sold. Again, this is one of these things where people kind of get on me about not reporting it if I don't. So here we have a mod that is 245 electronics with 3% skill haste. People are hungry for skill haste, and they just want to hear about skill haste if there are any mods being sold. Personally, I don't really recommend mods that are not at least 250, and I honestly personally don't keep anything that's under 260 unless it's a skill haste mod, and then it still has to be 250 for me to even keep it. Anything like this I personally would not keep, but if you are desperate and you need some skill haste for your build, like maybe you just want to try something out and you need the skill haste, then go ahead and pick it up. But other than that, you should probably keep mods that are over 260, just saying. In East 53rd Street, we've got a pretty mediocre M870 shotgun. It does have really nice talents: responsive, deadly, and self-preserved, but the base damage on it is somewhere in like the 60 some odd percentile. It's kind of mediocre in terms of base damage, but the talents are really good. Now the star of the show over at this vendor is definitely this performance mod. It's a firearms mod with, it's pretty much a God Roll Firearms mod. It's 267 firearms, plus it comes with 3% skill haste. I know people are looking for that skill haste, as I said earlier, so here you go. This is it. This is the one that you need to buy like right now if you're looking for some mods, especially for skill haste. This is the one. Go get it. Go now. Go get it. Over in West 53rd Street, there's a niche kind of infantry MG5. The damage to targets out of cover is 13, could be a little bit better. The base damage is at 19k with this character, and I looked it up. This is close to the 90 percentile in terms of damage. It's at like 98.6 something, just kind of depends. Now the talents on it are competent, meticulous, and dominant. Dominant I'm not a huge fan of. I wish meticulous, if I could get meticulous to proc, this would be great. So I know that people are using Lone Star, and probably with Lone Star you may have enough health to get this to proc, so this may work out really well for you, and then you'll probably want to change dominant. This could be really good for PvE content. So just to let you guys know, the base damage on this is close to the 90 percentile, and if you were looking for one of these, then you could definitely go ahead and pick it up. Now the other thing that is being sold here this week is the sticky bomb damage. I know some people are hype about sticky bombs coming back, and 4% extra sticky bomb damage is always very good. So if you do need this, you can go ahead and pick it up here. In West 31st Street, there is a pretty nice electronics mod with skill power. The electronics part of it is okay. It's at 251, just barely making it over the threshold for me personally, but the skill power is at a really nice rate of 3,319. So if you do need an electronics mod with some extra skill power, maybe you're not looking for haste, then this could definitely work out for you. That is a really fat piece of skill power, so go ahead and check it out. In DZ2, there is a really nice pair of Savage Gloves being sold. The armor on it is really nice at 998. It comes with 988 SMG damage, and the max that you can get for SMGs is 1001, so not too far off. The skill haste is at 8%. The only bummer is that it comes with enemy armor damage instead of crit hit damage. If it had crit hit damage, that would just be the best thing you could get, and then you could re-roll it into firearms, but you will have to make a choice between critical hit damage and between that stam, because that stam is pretty low and it is definitely not firearms. Just as a quick shout out, in DZ4 there is a prototype performance first aid self-heal with 5.5%. 6% I believe is the max you can get, but I haven't seen a 6%er being sold for a while, so figured I'd throw that out there for the people who are looking for these and just trying to stay alive. Alright, over in DZ6, we're going to take a quick look at some of the stuff that's being sold. The Alpha Bridge Mask is pretty much crap. Let's skip that. The DeadEye chest plate, I know that I said I really don't want to recommend too many things that are in the classified section, the classified gear sets, just because they're not as good. Well, the regular ones aren't as good as the classified stuff, but the armor on this is really nice, and the health on this is really good. It also comes with enemy armor damage and ammo capacity, which would be very good for DeadEye. So I wanted to say, if you don't have a DeadEye chest piece and you're looking to make a DeadEye build, this may help you out. But again, classified stuff is much better. If you can get your hands on that, that is a much better choice all the way around. The Reclaimer set has nice critical hit damage. The armor on it is not bad for a bag, but that's about it. The Lone Star knees are good for PvE. The firearms is nice at 1262. The armor could be a bit better. I like my armor on the knees to be a bit higher than that, somewhere around the 1600s. But the 8% critical hit damage plus the 13% damage to elites, that could be a bit better, is there for PvE stuff. Then it comes with burn resistance and disorient resist. You also have this Predator Mark holster, which is straight trash, and then you have the defense gloves with a really nice armor roll on them at 1000, plus a really nice SMG roll on it at 979. Then you also have crit hit damage. It's only 14, which could be a bit better. Then you have health on kill, which could also help you out when you're wielding that shield. The stamina is a little bit low, but that's still not a bad pair of gloves. So if you do need some defense gloves for SMG, this could work out pretty well for you. So not too bad, the stuff they have here, but some things are better than others. In DZ8 we have some pretty interesting stuff. Again, we have some decent DeadEye stuff. This armor on this mask is really nice at 999. Crit hit chance you won't really need with DeadEye, so that's kind of a dead stat. And then the firearms is a little bit low, so you will have to do something about that. The armor is pretty much the only good thing about this, and I'd still probably pass on it just because you don't need the chance, and the firearms is a bit low. Now the other thing that is being sold, they have a Nomad chest piece, which is pretty much poo-poo. We have the Lone Star bag, which has some pretty decent armor on it. The skill power on it is nice. It comes with 50% ammo capacity, and the electronics is at 1241. You probably want to bump that electronics, but the rest of it looks pretty good. The Reclaimer knees, while the armor is not that great, it does come with enemy armor damage, which is a bit low, and plus it comes with 14% damage to elites, blind, and disrupt. I don't recommend this at all. The Tactician's holster, if you need one just to finish out something, you might want to give this a try. The electronics on it is really nice at 1268. The armor is a little bit low, and the crit hit chance is at 3.5, so make a decision about that. Not really the highest on my recommended list. The Tactician's gloves, on the other hand, are amazing at 997 armor, 1239 for the electronics, and then a whopping 1311 for assault rifle damage. Again, going back to what I said earlier about the other pair of gloves with really nice assault rifle damage. The max you can get for assault rifle is 13339. So this is at 13. Sorry, not 13339. It's at 1334. And this is at 1311, so it's not too bad. Plus you get 4% health on kill, which is kind of okay, I guess. And then you have 5.5 crit hit chance. ARs don't have crit hit chance, so this could be not too bad. And then, I mean, I would probably roll health on kill into probably crit hit damage, and I just roll with that electronics roll. It's not great, but I would prefer crit hit damage personally. But again, the AR damage is really good, the crit hit chance isn't bad, and the armor is very nice. So kind of a top pick, but it's a good pick. It's a solid pick. In DZ9, while I'm not overly impressed with what is being sold, I'm just going to skim through this and show it to you guys. I don't really have too many comments about this stuff. It's not really amazing. There's something to be said about some of this, but that is pretty much it. That's gonna be it for this week's Good or Garbage. I hope you guys found something that you liked. If you did, remember to leave a comment and let me know so that I can really try to hone and fine-tune the kind of stuff that we see in the videos every week. And yeah, that's gonna be it for DZ9, so we'll just wrap this up. Alright guys, that is going to do it for this week's Good or Garbage. I hope you guys found something useful that you could pick up or that may help your build. Unfortunately, there were no really God roll weapons or anything like that, but every week is not going to be the greatest week ever. So we did get a really nice mod, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys are going to pick that up. So yeah, let me know if you guys did pick anything up or what you picked up. It does help me know what you guys are looking for, and I do appreciate all the support that you you guys show me throughout the videos, the live streams, and even though last week's Good or Garbage didn't do that well, it's good to know that you guys do support the channel, and I'm looking forward to hearing what you guys picked up this week and what you're looking forward to. And hopefully we can get some new masks and stuff. I'm looking forward to this next Assault Global Events thing that's coming up hopefully soon, but I doubt it'll be anytime in the near future. But that is pretty much going to do it for this week. So thank you guys again for all the support, and I'm really happy to know that we passed over 5,000 subs. So thank you guys so very much, and I'll see you next week.
Huh.